Good evening, slave. We're now doing the long-awaited sequel to that you've been waiting for. Monkeypox is officially a public health emergency. We're about to bottle feed you the full details, which will put you into a fearful state, and then you'll be very suggestible to everything we say after that. We'll also be terrorizing you with updates on President Fully Protected Biden contracting COVID, the climate emergency, and how the World Economic Forum wants to block out the sun. Seriously. But first, let's start with the definitely not created in a lab this time, monkeypox. The World Health Organization has declared monkeypox a public health emergency, and the public has declared the World Health Organization a public health emergency. But the public doesn't control the narrative, so who cares? Here's what the head of the World Health Organization and Chinese Communist Party official Tedros something or other had to say.
I have decided that the global monkeypox outbreak represents a public health emergency of international concern.
Scary, I know, but it gets scarier. Now, who is being most affected by this hilarious-sounding virus? Well, Dr. Peter McCullough, citing the New England Journal of Medicine, which does not sound very credible to us, shares that those who are infected by the dreaded global monkeypox emergency are 98% are gay or bisexual, 41% have concurrent HIV, and 95% of cases have been transmitted via sexual activity. And that's resulted in a staggering 0 deaths. Can you cancel my weekend plans? Just tell the fellas something came up. As you can see, this is a public health emergency.
All right, stopping it there. Okay, I have been totally out of the loop when it comes to the whole monkey thing. Not sure if you can say it on YouTube because the censorship is really sad that there's words we can't say or things we can't discuss on a platform that people come for information. However, I have just been completely out of the loop. Like, I haven't been paying attention because I honestly could give 2 shits about it. And plus here in India, like, no one's really talking about it. Like, people kind of joke about it sometimes, like, oh, you might have the monkey disease, but no one really talks about it in a serious way. I think, like most of the world, we're done. We're apathetic. We don't care. We just want to move on with our life. Another fucking disease to fearmonger everybody else into fucking control. Not fucking happening. However, I heard people say that the monkey disease was like a gay disease, and I thought they were just joking. I think Dave Chappelle even said that, and I thought, like, haha, it's a joke. I didn't know that came from actual data and facts and statistics. That is insane. And maybe you can say, like, well, they didn't say that to the public because they don't want to happen when what happened when AIDS and HIV first became, like, you know, a public awareness. A lot of people discriminate against the gay community because of that, and maybe they don't want that to happen to the gay community. However, if it is really affecting them the most and you care about those people, you think you would let that out there so they can protect themselves. Especially if your immune system is already compromised because you have AIDS or HIV. Not to say that gay people are the only ones who have AIDS or HIV, but even if you didn't want to make it a gay thing, you can say, hey, a lot of people who have AIDS or HIV are more acceptable to catching this disease. You think you allow that to be publicly known or aware so people can protect themselves. But I mean, the narrative is more important than people. We already know that. And I'm pretty sure it is out there. Like, he has the information so anyone can get that information, but we know we live in 2020 where people are very lazy. They're not going to do their own research, so they're just going to listen to whatever their trusted talking head is without even thinking further about it. But again, I think for the most of us, we're done with it. We don't care. I think there are still some people that actually really wanted the world to change, that wanted people to stay locked down and maxed up and 6 feet apart forever because they thrived in that type of society. There are people who, because of their ideology, you know, they want this to continue because it's their tribe, and I think people enjoyed having that power to tell people to put their mask on and stay at home. I think there are a subsect of people who really enjoy that. But for the most of us, I think we're all done with it. And it's just sad how, like, people are just scared of just getting sick these days. Like, we've all got sick. We've all had the flu. We all had, you know, the cold. We all, you know, had chickenpox and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's sucks. It takes time out of your life, but like, you're willing to give up your freedom just not to be sick for a few days. And with this monkey disease, like there's no even deaths. There's zero death rates involved. So people are willing to give up more of their freedoms for that. I saw this long ass line of people getting the monkey disease vaccine or whatever, and it's like, dude, like you want this weird chemical in your body over the idea of just being sick for a few days, so your immune system can build up and protect you better in the future. It really makes no sense to me, but anyway, I said immune system, so this video is probably already going to get like demonetized or something like that, but anyway, let's continue.
That affects us all. Your obedience to everything we tell you now and moving forward is the only way to protect yourself. However, there are those who suffer from a deficiency in obedience who are saying, another public health emergency that gives authoritarians complete control over our lives? This is like the boy who cried wolf. Well, it's actually not like that at all, because in that fairy tale, the boy who cried wolf was not a wolf himself. So this is very different. And in other news, President Brandon announced that he has COVID. Take a look.
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Oops, that's not the right clip.
Hey folks, guess you heard this morning I tested positive for COVID.
Following that announcement, the Babylon Bee reports that Joe Biden calls Obama to wish him a speedy recovery after hearing the president has COVID. With Hunter's dad being sick, one would expect the border problem, inflation, and food shortages that have been plaguing our country to start improving if the president's not working. But luckily, Brandon continues to work, even while having the dreaded infection. How's he doing that? Well, the White House doctor says, with all the problems the president is suffering from, this infection is the least of his concerns, and he probably won't even notice it. But the president is facing some criticism for continuing to work. As the woke will always cannibalize their own, Yale medical professor Kim Sue has accused Biden of being a white supremacist for continuing to work while he has COVID. The university professor, who is someone you pay lots of money to educate your children, said in a tweet, POTUS working while having COVID infection epitomizes white supremacy urgency in the workplace. But the White House responded by saying, that's not the thing that proves Biden's a white supremacist. However, Kim Sue is someone who should be taken very seriously, given that the credentials of her pronouns are listed in her Twitter bio.
Stopping it there, yeah, that makes absolutely no sense, but progressive left makes no sense regardless. I remember seeing something that did list off everything that was like white supremacy, and it was like working hard, working overtime, being persistent, being consistent, following a work schedule was all forms of white supremacy and white colonization, because these people really do believe in white superiority and they think they literally invented everything. And so the idea of her thinking someone working through an illness is white supremacy makes complete and utter sense for that type of ideology. Yeah. But I also could see why the left or the wokes would attack him, because like they want to make this disease to be deadly, right? What I think Bill Maher quoted, like 70% of liberals really believe if you got the virus that you were going to die or get like seriously ill, where it's like 3%. It's like a very low number. And so by him still working through it, it kind of leans into the truth that no, for most part, most people who get it will be completely and utterly fine. However, Biden is in that age range of people being really at risk. So he's either really rich and can afford all the medicines to make him have a speedy recovery, or he doesn't really have it and he wants to prove that he's just as strong as Trump or something like that, that he's not as old and elderly as people think he is. Anyway, let's continue.
Also tell she is a principled person, unafraid to stick up for the truth that she stands for, as she prevents unapproved people from following her account. And while we're on the topic, unfortunately, Paul Duncan, a 35-year-old former NFL and Notre Dame lineman, has died after going into cardiac arrest while jogging around his neighborhood. After a string of similar deaths, there's no word yet on what caused him to go into cardiac arrest, but it was probably old age. Case closed. There will be no further comments on the matter. Moving along. If one virus doesn't kill you, then another will. And if that unfortunately still doesn't kill you, then the weather will. The climate crisis is here and it's real. That's why our narrative is chocked so full of it. And there's no need to worry because we want you to panic. And on the matter, President Biden recently announced climate change programs. But consumers of propaganda are disappointed that he's yet to declare a climate emergency. And for those who are concerned that professional cyclist Joe Biden has yet to declare a climate emergency, don't worry, because that's on the next page in the playbook. Once declared, the climate emergency will help Americans have less food and more poverty while believing they're protected against the weather as they're living in despair. For more on
So Dr. Jordan Peterson has talked about this, and other people have talked about this, that the global virus and the monkey and all the other viruses and diseases that will be creeping up in the future, don't worry, it's coming. It's just a test run to see how easy or how people will react to this sort of lockdown kind of control, these sort of taking of freedoms, because the next thing will be climate change emergencies. And so people talked about it in the beginning of the lockdown. I've heard people tweet and say, state things on social media, how we should do this every year, that this should be an annual thing to protect the planet, that people should be forced into lockdown or forced not to drive their cars or go to work or take a plane or take a train or whatever that pollutes the air, or carbon emissions and other things that are considered pollutants or dangerous to the planet, that for a month, 2 months, half a year, or whatever, people should be mandated into those things to protect the planet. So a lot of people feel like this was just a test run for that. That's why you're going to start seeing a big uptick on more climate change, panic, emergencies, fear-mongering, trying to put more policies in. And again, a lot of times politicians sneak in policies that you're not paying attention to, so when they want to take that emergency grab, like Justin Trudeau, they have all the power to do so because they already put all those policies in place. Again, you just weren't paying attention to. So this is the next step. It's coming, my dear. So, like I've always said, get out of the big fucking cities, detach from the mainstream, homeschool your kids, diversify your income, start working for yourself, be your own boss, and move into the countryside, the more rural side, smaller towns, outskirts cities, outside the big cities, van life, whatever you need to do, because it's coming, boo-boo. Anyway, let's continue.
on this, don't check out the full breakdown on this video on the JP Reacts channel, linked in the description. To better understand the climate crisis and how it works, take a look at these weather update photos that prove how drastically the globe is warming. The top one is from June 21st, 2017, and the bottom one, with lower temperatures but featuring the color red, is from June 21st of this year. So as you can see, the colors we're now using on lower temperatures are much scarier looking. But is there anyone who can help us defeat the climate crisis? Yes! Oddly enough, the same people who create the narrative on it and go to painstaking measures to get it in front of you every chance they get also have a solution on it. It's our good friends and trusted allies at the World Economic Forum. The unelected reptiles at the World Economic Forum are pushing to block out the sun in an effort to defeat humanity in the name of the climate emergency. They're advocating for the use of space bubbles to block out some of the sun's rays. What could go wrong giving Klaus Schwab control over your ability to receive the life-giving light from the sun? Nothing.
First of all, Klaus Schwab, whatever, isn't that like the perfect villain name? Like, he already is the perfect villain. He has a perfect name, and just look at him. We're literally living in a Marvel movie. Like, this is fucking insane. Like, think about it. Look at him, hear his name, think about someone trying to literally black out the sun. Doesn't that sound like something Thanos would do? Like, seriously, I'm laughing because I know this. This is so obvious, and this has been going on, and this has been in progress for years. But at this point, people are so blind, deaf, and dumb. No one cares. Everybody cares about who the fuck Kim Kardashian is dating, or everybody is so fucking desensitized or demoralized or just struggling to survive or depressed or want to off themselves or dealing with loneliness or caring about women finessing them or the red pill. Like, everybody is so hyper focused on the stupidest shit that no one knows what's going on. Like, it doesn't matter what all the little petty things you're concerned with, because you're about to lose your fucking freedom. Like, seriously, I don't mean to sound like an alarmist, but it's been happening forever. So it's like, I don't actually care anymore, because people have been trying to ring the alarm for fucking decades. I mean, people still just put on their puppet strings and go do 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 and keep doing the same fucking thing over and over and over again and expecting a different fucking results. Nothing's gonna save you. Trump isn't gonna save you. DeSantis is not gonna save you, because this stuff has been in motion for too long. It's going to get so much worse before it even attempts to start getting better. So even the stuff that we're doing now, you can only hope that you start to see results in it in like 12, 15, 20, 30 years. It's not gonna happen tomorrow. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen next year. Like, this shit has been in progress for so fucking long. The World Economic Forum, you know how much money they have? The most richest people on this planet are their backers. I mean the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. The people you've never heard of are their backers. Follow the money. There's nothing we can do about it. People are too fucking asleep. People are such fucking sheep and care about nothing but what's right in front of their fucking face. And anybody that says anything like this, you just call them a conspiracy theorist and you just dismiss them. But whatever. I know I just went on a whole fucking rant. But just like listening to him, I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, it's obvious, but who's really gonna listen? And if you listen, who's really gonna do anything? You're gonna stay in the big cities at your same fucking job doing the same fucking thing, and then a meteor is gonna come. You're gonna be like, oh my god, I knew this was coming, but I didn't do anything about it. I changed my life years ago because I saw that shit on the fucking walls. But anyway, let's continue.
Because Klaus Schwab himself reassures the public that there should be no risk. Sounds like a good thing to take at face value. You shouldn't worry about the risk if something goes wrong with his scheme to block out the sun. Should probably worry about the risk of it going according to plan. Hey, look at the weather in Antarctica today. We've got to do something about this. In our final story tonight, the Gateway Pundit reports that the city of Kalamazoo, Michigan is decriminalizing public urination, defecation, and littering for equity. And if you think about it, that implies that they think people of color are degenerate enough to want to pee and poop on sidewalks. And that's definitely not a racist perspective they have in their effort to destroy their city under the leadership of leftist Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Observational reports show that Governor Whitmer has an approximate IQ of 47, which Michigan leftists are proud of, as it helps create equity for dumb people. That's it for tonight's news. Monkeypox is here, so don't do gay orgies quite as much. And please pray for President Brandon's recovery, but also be an atheist. And there's sun on the horizon for you with Klaus Schwab's dark cloud in the sky. He's so literal with that. Fuck your freedom. Good night.
Oh my god, it's the same thing as like saying that you can't talk about single motherhood in the black community because that's just their culture. That's why they don't care about black on black crime, because they honestly think it's just black culture, and they even talk about it as racist. The bigotry of low expectations, you gotta love it. Anyway, I also thought it was funny how Brandon has the coof, but he's also supposedly been poked and booster poked multiple times, even though I don't actually think it is. We all saw that whole stage poking on national TV where they weren't even giving him a shot. So I don't know, I just think it's crazy. The world is going mad. I'm not trying to be an alarmist, and I'm not trying to be negative or pessimistic, because I'm actually really not. I actually am pretty positive because I'm taking the steps that I need to take. But I'm being realistic. Like, history is bound to repeat itself. It's already happening, and just too many people are too apathetic and just don't care and don't pay attention to really, for any of this to even stop or ever change. The only thing you can really do is help in your personal life, in your personal community, and your family. I mean, things are going to get worse and worse and worse, especially with technology and AI. The next generation is going to be too busy going through puberty at 30 and getting surgeries to reverse their fucking gender mistakes. And Gen Z is going to be their offspring, guys. So like, if you think this is going to get better, the mainstream has already proven that they will blatantly lie in your face, and even if the world is burning, they'll tell you everything is okay, just like the mostly peaceful protest. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps if you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop, links down below, and links to all of the internet platforms I'm on, my socials, including my Twitter. All the ways to support me and all the ways to contact me for business is always in the links down below. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle. I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually the most up to date, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye.